Welcome to Media Mama TV. I'm Alicia Cutting, and we're here for you with info, inspo, and convo, because there's always something to say about everything. And peer pressure is not something that, you think about. When you think about peer pressure, do you think about just preteens, teens, and young people? But is that really something that is just for the youth? I feel like every single stage in your life, there's some opportunity for peer pressure. And maybe it's even more so since we live in the age of we're all living in a box. So are we having peer pressure about our looks and our filters and our snapback? And are we hitting the angles right? Like, what's going on? Is peer pressure something that is just for the youth, or are adults getting hit with this thing too?
Yeah, I mean, I think social media definitely plays a part. I think we've all experienced it to some degree over the past year, also with COVID. I know, like, in the beginning, there were some people who were like, I am not leaving my house at all. I'm in the house, and then there were other folks who had their pod and they would try to convince the people who were in the house to come out and hang out. You know what I mean? Like, hang out outside. Like,
Okay.
Everybody, I think, had their own different ways of handling it. And it became to be, a lot of people were just sort of pushed out of their comfort zone because of, the people where they were around were handling COVID differently.
Okay, so so you mean like peer pressure to get out and do stuff, or peer pressure like to not do stuff, or how to handle COVID?
Yeah, I think how to handle COVID, because I think it kind of went both ways. I think some folks who were a little more free, and maybe free is not the right word, but a little more comfortable with going out and, meeting with a friend outside and standing 6 feet apart. Like, maybe that person was trying to push the person who was in the house more, and the person in the house more was probably like, get your ass home. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But
I can see that.
It was just, I think relationships over COVID sort of struggled a little bit, because friends and family in the beginning, I mean, did you all see that? Like, everyone sort of was kind of handling it a little differently. Some folks were grocery shopping. Other people didn't want to leave the house and wanted to have everything delivered. And, and then you start like judging how everyone else is maneuvering something that was, I just think, not fair to judge people, because it was so unknown. And I'm talking about in the beginning. I mean, it's still scary, but in the beginning, it was so unknown. We didn't know how we could get it. It was just a very personal, you had to sort of respect how everyone was maneuvering through it. Did you all experience that at all?
Right. Definitely. The same thing over here was like, the pressure of having children and having them to stay home. That was the biggest, because now my children are the ones who are facing that kind of pressure, that if they see the neighbors' kids outside, they want to go outside and play. And I'm like, no. And you kind of like didn't know what to do. So there's that pressure, and then that peer pressure of like, should I let them go? Should I not let them go? And it's like, and of course, like you said, it was so uncertain of what was going on and who can carry it, who can transfer, who can, like, you just don't know at the beginning.
Well, did you feel like people were like having, oh, well, you're not going to come over to my house? Like, what are you saying? They're like, I'm not clean.
I think
that was the peer pressure like that.
I did.
Yes, there was the pressure of that between family and friends, where they were like, well, you don't even come over here, so why do you go food shopping then? So why don't but you go to Home Depot all day, every day. It's like, it was like that kind of like, but what does that mean? So it was kind of like, I'm not understanding here the situation, and some people they were afraid to travel, like, 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is, because of so. But yeah.
Well, Alika, I mean, you have children at home. Did you feel like that same type of pressure, or pressure in different ways?
The topic, peer pressure. Let's talk about peer pressure.
Handle peer pressure. Look, no pressure.
That I could give a rat's tail about peer pressure. I mean, come on, y'all should know me. I mean, thinking about peer pressure, I was like, I waited to have sex to my husband, and all these men, and let me tell you something, that was because I love men so much. I knew if I started sleeping with them, I would never stop. So I was like, I better wait. Legit, that's the reason I just put this out on the air on YouTube.
It's out there.
But I'm saying, like, men used to say, "You're giving me blue balls," and I was like, "Well, too bad for you. You want to go bowling?" I mean, that's just you just gave me some flashback on peer pressure and like
bowling, no.
or whatever. I don't know. Oh, I didn't think about the ball. Sorry, that wasn't on purpose. I used to be a leaf bowler.
Not on purpose.
I digress. But you were asking about kids at home.
So I'm guessing that there was no peer pressure on the league with the kids and stuff.
I think I feel it, but it's like I agree with Millie in that my kids did say, well, so-and-so is doing this and so-and-so is doing that. And I said, well, our family is making the choice to be safe because there's too many unknowns. And because I was only 2 people away from patient 0 in New York. So it hit me really early on and it hit me quickly. And I worked with some people who got very ill, a couple people who passed away. I mean, so I think like the peer pressure for me, I was like adamant with my kids because of what I'd experienced. So now that I'm thinking about it, I think our experiences can probably also affect how much we give in or don't give in to peer pressure.
Right.
Any area, right? That shapes how we respond to peer pressure. What kind of life experiences we've had that help us decide. I mean, what do you think, Gina?
Well, when you said that really rang a bell because I've always felt like an outsider. So peer pressure has not. The older I get, the it's pretty much non-existent.
I feel you on that one, Gina.
Yeah, you know,
it's like take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's pretty much non-existent. But I do, you know, younger, everybody goes through peer pressure because everybody wants to belong. And you're going to have your posse, whoever it is, whether it's the geeks, you know, the jocks, whatever. You're going to have.
I feel like that was just like an ode to the Breakfast Club.
I did see some dancing going on. No matter, whether you're shaking dandruff out of your head on that photo. But I mean, even your little posse, the people you trust, there's going to be peer pressure. But personally, as I've gotten older, it really is pretty non-existent because I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
Moreover, I don't try to influence other people. You know, I'm not going to try to influence other people. So I think that's it. I'm kind of like, I'm not.
I think you do it organically, though.
Right.
In a positive way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully that is the case, but I don't want to unduly influence people like, well, you should do so and so, even though I say that all the time to people, you should, because I think I know everything. But peer pressure, but COVID, yes, the thing with the masks early on, that was a tough one. It was kind of like, you're going to wear a mask? Why, yes, I am. You know, why would you wear a mask? They're trying to take away your freedom. I mean, that was like real conversation with that, you know.
Yeah, and I think it also goes to say like who your groups are, who your circle, like you were saying. Like if you're surrounded by people who are like-minded, and I'm just like, you know what, listen, you do you. And I'm not even just talking COVID here. I'm not just talking pandemic or mass. I'm like, if your circle is like all about, oh my gosh, I have a fine line, I have a wrinkle, oh my gosh, I must, oh my gosh, I must get in there for my sidebar. No judgments.
No judgment.
I just happen to, that this is not my vibe, but it's like, oh my God, I got to get in there for the next nip and tuck. Clearly not my vibe either. But you know, whatever. I told them, like, listen, take it or leave it. It is what it is.
Curves are good.
Curves are great.
But if your crew, if like your people are all about like keeping up with appearances, keeping up with whatever, I feel like there is going to be that more, that elevated level of peer pressure that affects how you interpret body image or aging, or that's what I'm saying. It's not, I feel like it's just for you, especially now with the filters. And it's like, people have to, what do y'all think about this one? Do you feel like people are just putting their highlight reels on social media? And it's like, oh my gosh, I have the perfect, everything's, now granted, I love social media. I do it for a living too, but it is to a degree. I put on, my highs and my lows. Anyone who knows, I'm pretty good. But it is to a degree your highlight reel in a way. Yeah. Because it's like no one wants to say, hey, listen, I was washing clothes all day. you know.
I think we're gonna start writing that. I'm gonna write that tomorrow, see what happens.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
But do you feel like there is any element of pressure to like put up the happy smiley relationship pictures, the happy smiley posing with my kids, doing like vacation spots or whatever?
I think there is that type of pressure today's day because everybody wants to be picture perfect in every sense of the word. In reality, it's not like that. It's, as a chef, I'll mess up in that kitchen 10,000 times, you know, and I have.
But then you know what makes it better next time.
Right, exactly. So it's, and I honestly, when it comes to like selfies and take pictures and reels and all that stuff, I actually love organic pictures. I love to take somebody doing something in a moment. Like yesterday, I grilled with my neighbors. I was like, hey, come over, let's have some play date. Let's just have a wine, cheese board, grill some chicken. Well, did I take a picture of my glass of wine and my grill in the background? You know,
I saw it and it was
my
cute.
moment. Right? That was my moment at that very moment, you know, that time. And that's what I like. Like, I just love organic. And not even for the pictures on my social media for my food. I always try to get only daylight. You will never see my pictures in any other way. And I try to get as beautiful as I can on that dish when it's gonna go. Yeah. Do that way as well, because I just love things to be raw and organic. I just feel like keeping it real it is, you know, like.
Well, I think we just learned about Millie that basically in her circle it's like, listen, you're gonna get it nice, natural, organic, and raw, and it's all good. So,
you know. Ugly, everything.
I think that you know, that speaks to that kind of like the overarching thing there is authenticity. That's something that's lost when you succumb to peer pressure,
right?
Whether you're having a highlight reel on social media. Yeah, granted, you're right, Leisha. Nobody wants to go out there with I'm doing laundry today because my machine broke down and I'm down on the corner. Here's Pepe, you know, my buddy Pepe. You don't do that. You're doing
you got to roll the quarters.
Right.
Literally, you're trying to make yourself look a little good, but authentically, it's like, you know, it really gets in. I mean, if you really look at celebrity culture, which I try not to do too much, it's like the lack of authenticity.
Yeah.
Is just
so strong.
Astounding. It's astounding, but people take it as authentic.
Yeah, that's
right.
And it's like, wait, what? Are you kidding me?
You know what?
But it's hard. It's hard.
You got me thinking about something, Gina, in that I think I've done worse around peer pressure as I've gotten older. So actually, when I was younger, I didn't care, and I started to care a little bit. And I'm thinking about when I entered the Miss America pageant. Now I was like 42 years old, and I got crowned Miss New England, and I was like, they were like, you need to post it on social media. And I was like, I don't want to post I did a pageant on social media. Everyone's going to think that I'm stupid. I did it because my daughter asked me to, because I really wanted to, and she wanted me to. And I was like, I want to do this pageant. I'd done one pageant when I was 17. That's it. And I just thought it'd be a blast. I just want to do it, like be up there with women like over 40 in this national pageant. Yeah. And I was so
sidebar, that's not FOMO, is it?
No, well, I don't know. I just thought it would be so cool. Like, I know it was more like YOLO. It was YOLO. You only live once.
That's it.
And I was so afraid of all my like feminist friends that were going to judge me. And my idea of feminism is you could be smart, pretty, everything all at once. But I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to get so stupid. I'm not going to. And it actually took me like 2 months to post something. So that is a situation I can actually think of where my perception of peer pressure stopped me, until I told a few friends, and particularly Dana. Shout out to Dana, who helped me with some stuff. And I was like, I'm going to own this crap, because this is who I am. This is authentically who I am. I want to be on a stage and shake my booty and wear a crown. And you know what? Then all my friends were supporting me. Even my like totally radical feminist ones who would never do it. One of them came to the pageant, and she's like, not pageant. And this is sweet. And I was like, that reminded me, like, be authentic. And what I perceived as peer pressure, I broke through it. But that was in my 40s. So yeah, it does happen. Like, and it was
I'm feeling that
peer pressure, by the way.
Yeah, and I think like that's definitely the key to it all, right? Is like figuring out who we are, like between, you know, 0 and 40 or whatever it is, like
or plus.
But like figuring out who you are, being authentic, and then like Alicia was saying, then taking your authenticity and finding your tribe, finding your like people. You don't have to be alike in every way, but finding people who respect you and who, you know, who understand how you're wired and why you make the choices you make. Because I mean, life just flows so much easier when you're not, you know, surrounded by people who don't get you, and you feel like you have to constantly like explain your choices and
right. That's a no. If you have that, let it go.
Let it go.
Absolutely.
Let it go.
Like, I feel the song.
Let it go.
Sing the Frozen
Don't let that happen.
You're like breaking everything today.
I know. Look, I'm
But you know what?
Yeah.
I definitely, there's this beautiful actress, and she dealt with some of those things for years in Hollywood and in the acting world. And she said, you know what, I am who I am on all of my authenticity, and embrace it or not. But I feel like she should be our inspirational quote for the day.
Let's hear it.
Yes.
Let's hear it. All right, who got it?
Who is this actress and what is this quote?
I
know.
I'm curious.
I got it.
Oh,
okay.
It's in the atmosphere. It's in another world somewhere.
Yes. Lupita Nyong'o said, what I would say is that
Cover.
what I have learned for myself is that I don't have to be anybody else, and that myself is good enough. And that when I am being true to that self, then I can avail myself to extraordinary things. You have to allow for the impossible to be possible.
Love it.
Yes.
There you go.
She's amazing.
She's
gorgeous.
beautiful and amazing and talented.
Yes. All those things.
Yeah.
And but you know, I want to say that it would not be impossible for you to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our show.
What?
Now.
That was
comment.
smooth, Lika. That was smooth.
Girl.
Yes,
Smooth
too
with
smooth.
it.
Too smooth.
Absolutely. You heard
Don't
Alika.
forget, yes.
You heard Alika. Alika,
Right.
we co-sign what Alika has said. So if you have not already, please make sure that you pop on over and that you click our subscribe button. And like Millie always says,
Leave a comment and ring that bell right there so you can
hit the button.
and let us know about your experience with peer pressure, either now or when you were younger. Leave us a comment so we can hear about
And
it.
we are putting the pressure on you for this.
We are.
Yes.
That's that positive pressure.
Yes.
It's positive peer pressure this time. Okay? So definitely until next time, thank you for hanging out with us. Have a positive, peaceful, and a productive day. And thanks for watching Media Mama TV.
Bye.